TheKey begins its rollout in China with pensions payments. A new study finds that Ethereum is more decentralized than Bitcoin. Nucleus Vision apologizes for listing fake partnerships, and the Korean premium returns along with signs of a bull market. We got all your headlines mixed with some daily market analysis. I'm Elio Trades, and your FUD TV daily update starts now. Welcome back, FUD Nation. Hope you guys are enjoying your lovely Sunday. Obviously, the charts are doing well. It's a green day, green, just like the background behind me that you aren't seeing. And let me tell you this much, I'm very excited to see this because we did have a little bit of a sort of a slumpy day yesterday. And obviously, we've been in such a good way over the last few weeks with multiple weeks of Bitcoin gaining steam, which hadn't even happened since February. And even then, there was a bit more of a pullback. So seeing the momentum continue and seeing these numbers turn green again with multiple percents of Bitcoin gains, this is exactly what we need. Obviously, Bitcoin's chart is going to be critical here as we want to see it get over those $10,000, $9,000, $11,000, $12,000 points of resistance, all of those psychological points of resistance. But seeing all top 10 coins in the green after yesterday's slight reds is very good, and it means that we're setting ourselves up nicely to continue this bullish momentum. Obviously, if we pop into the biggest gainers, we have Dentacoin. At any rate, Dentacoin is over 60% up, and if there's any good sign that a bull market is returning, it's Dentacoin pumping. Eternity with a 23% pump, and of course, KuCoin shares now showing signs of life. Obviously, KuCoin shares was a great coin when it first came out. It was paying dividends in every single different coin that was profitable in each one of their markets. I think they still do that, but they also had this really robust referral system that I really loved, and it really brought me in, and then they kind of canceled that or really stripped it back and stopped paying out those referrals. PundiX continuing on their wonderful momentum. As you see it, we're zooming in on the week chart, we can see they're sort of holding these gains. They had some crazy gains here. They're doing a buyback as well as a big rollout throughout India. Yeah, very cool company, PundiX. Obviously, it's always a good day when your biggest coin, your biggest losing coin in the top 100 is only 8% down. Less than 10% in Cryptoville is obviously always a good thing. So, obviously, and there's some really good coins here. Even Ontology is clocking a small loss here. And I don't know, yeah, this is USD value, but we can see Ontology is going to get set to make some movement. Rumors are that they might even have an advancement of their mainnet release. Ontology has a lot of team members, a lot of people working on this project, and a lot of expectations. And they're partnering with TheKey, which is confirmed, and we're going to go into that right now, which is an amazing story. TheKey is actually rolling out a real ID program throughout Asia in these mountainous regions where elderly people cannot actually identify themselves properly to get access to their pension payments. So as I was saying, TheKey is now being rolled out in the interest of facilitating pensions payments for elderly or for certain insured people in a certain region of China. Now, this administration that they're partnered with covers 10 million hectares and 22% of the Heilongjiang province. Sorry if I butchered that. There are over 500,000 insured people in the region, and of them, there are at least 30,000 that are over 65 years old and need to retrieve their pension payments. And to do so required a tenuous journey with long wait times, and it was very difficult for these retirees and elderly citizens to complete. For that reason, a lot of complaints were made, and now this potential service of allowing for all of these scattered retirees that are more elderly and maybe living in sort of rural or forested regions, this is a chance for them to certify their payments and get their pensions from the comforts of their home. This is extremely, extremely big news. This is why products like TheKey and Ontology, which are partners, by the way, and they're going to work synergistically, are going to be completely game-changing and going to take over part of this next Web 4.0 revolution. They're going to be critical pieces of infrastructure, identity verification, and things of that nature. So look for TheKey to make some serious headway over the next few months as their product is being rolled out. This is real-world adoption. And a study concludes that Ethereum is actually more decentralized than Bitcoin, which runs contrary to what a lot of people believe about the two cryptocurrencies, as typically, Bitcoin is considered the most decentralized because of the way it sort of came into existence. However, the ASIC mining world and the mining world in general is extremely centralized around Bitcoin. And for that reason, there's a lot more centralization of Bitcoin in data centers. Over 50% of all Bitcoin mining is in data centers, whereas Ethereum's mining comes typically from much more scattered, much more small entities, tends to come from all different types of computing power, whereas Bitcoin's very much so is much more ASIC driven and much more data center driven. So you're seeing much more centralization around Bitcoin. Beyond the mining, the geographical distribution of the servers was much more diverse within the Ethereum network, and again, this plays to sort of the ASIC-resistant conversation of when you take ASICs out of the game, you allow for a much wider distribution of your mining network. It's much more decentralized. Of course, Ethereum has its own problems to tackle. It is still scaling, it is still growing, and people are criticizing it continually for not having the ability to keep up with the pace of innovation. Ethereum's founder, Vitalik Buterin, has warned that it might still be 2 to 3 years before Ethereum reaches true scale. So hold your horses, everyone. There are a few innings left of this game to play. Nucleus Vision is apologizing to their community for listing brand partners that actually aren't brand partners. Now, personally, I expressed this concern when I first reviewed Nucleus Vision's project. You can go back and watch that video. My concern was clear. It's who's going to use this? When? Why? I needed to see partnerships, and I saw 0 retail partnerships listed. They were all like telecom partnerships, where essentially this is part of their technology creation. It's not actually an adoption partnership. This is a tech development partnership, and these are mechanical engineers that are creating the product. I don't doubt their ability to create the technology. I doubt their ability to introduce the technology to market. And now finding out that they were essentially fibbing about the brands that they're working with and that none of these brands have really okayed them to use their logos or declare them as partners, well, now I really have my doubts about Nucleus Vision and their rollout strategy. Do I believe they have a good idea? Sure, good ideas are everywhere. And like we said, we don't like to report on FUD, but if we don't report on FUD, then we're not FUD TV and we're not doing any services to you, the cryptocurrency community. If we don't explain the FUD and sort of at least put it into context as to whether this FUD matters or that FUD doesn't matter, then we're not helping you at all. We're not providing any resources to the community. So although we love to always be cheerleaders and hoorah, go blockchain, go Bitcoin, go all cryptocurrencies, the reality is that there are projects that need to be criticized. And if they're not criticized and we don't hold these projects accountable for being of higher standards and evolving, then the industry can't go to the place it needs to go to if we really want crypto to run the future. And as we near the $385 billion mark, it seems that the South Korean kimchi premium around cryptocurrency has returned, which is an extremely bullish sign for the entire market. At the time that this report was created, Bitcoin was being traded in South Korea for nearly $9,000 when the global price was under $8,900. This is a good example of how there is a several percentage gap, or at least multiple percent gap, between the Korean price and typically other exchanges around the world. We know that with Ripple, this was absolutely out of control back in January and December when the Ripple prices were literally 30% higher in South Korea than in other places. We were seeing Ripple trading for like $2.60 when it was only trading for under $2 in other places. It was craziness. Of course, that's a symptom of a lot of international factors, but the reality is seeing this kimchi sort of South Korean premium reemerge is an extremely bullish sign for the entire market, as South Korea really pushed forward and raised the market caps and the valuations for a lot of coins. So them coming back into the market with a fervor, with an excitement, and pushing the sort of cryptocurrency market valuations, start seeing those market cap numbers that resemble old yesteryear of January. And because we like to end things on a lighter note, we have the Catmosphere Cafe. That's right, in Chiang Mai, the Catmosphere Cafe allows you to buy cats in Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin. Look at this little cute kitty. Wouldn't you want to buy a cute kitty for 5% discount with cryptocurrencies? Head over to the Catmosphere Cafe today. Fam, it's the end of the episode, but no one's sadder than I am. So let's make each other feel better and let's have a conversation in the comments below. You guys know I love hearing from you guys each and every day. I know each one of you who comes back and comments each and every day because I read every single one. And believe me, it rocks my world. I love it. Thanks so much for supporting. And of course, if you're new here, you got to subscribe. I'm Elio Trades. I can't wait to see you guys on the very next episode of FUD TV.